Welcome to RandPlan, a modern personal budgeting Android app designed to help users take control of their budgeting needs. RandPlan uses Firestore for secure cloud-based storage, so your financial data is always safe, synced, and accessible from any device, anytime, anywhere. When the app opens, users are greeted by the welcome screen. The RandPlan logo is displayed at the top, followed by login and sign up buttons. The user makes a choice if they wish to log into the existing account or create a new one. If a user taps on the login button, they are taken to the login screen. Here, they are prompted to enter the email address associated with their account as well as their password. Validation messages will appear after the login button is clicked. If one or both fields are left empty when the user attempts to log in, a toast message appears asking them to fill in all required fields. If the email entered is valid and linked to an existing account, but the password inputted is incorrect, a toast message will appear to inform the user that the password entered is incorrect once they've tried to log in. If the information entered is valid but does not match any user in the database, a toast message will display indicating that the user is not found. If the user submits the form with an invalid email format, such as missing an @ or domain name, a toast message appears letting them know that the email is invalid. A back button is available at the top of the screen, allowing users to return to the welcome page at any time. Once the user has successfully logged in, they are taken to the home screen, and a personalized toast message will appear at the bottom, welcoming the user to the app by their first name. If the user has forgotten their password, they can click on the Forgot Password text. This reveals a password reset form. The user must enter the email address linked to their account and create a new password as well as confirm it in the second input field. The validation will only appear once the user attempts to submit the reset password form. The new password must meet the app's rules. At least 8 characters long, with at least 1 uppercase letter, 1 lowercase letter, 1 number, and 1 special character. If it doesn't, a warning is displayed in red beneath the password input field after the user tries to reset it. If the 2 password fields don't match, a toast message appears after the submission to notify the user. If the email does not match any existing account, a toast message will appear stating that the account does not exist. Once the form is filled in correctly and the new password is accepted, the user can log in with their updated password. If the user has tapped on the Sign Up button, they are taken to the Sign Up screen. Here, users are asked to provide their name, surname, email address, password, and confirm that password. If any field is left empty and a user tries to sign up, a toast message appears asking the user to complete all required fields. The name and the surname fields may only contain alphabetic characters. If a user tries to sign up with numbers or symbols in these fields, once they have clicked the Sign Up button, a toast message appears stating that only letters may be used. The email field must also be valid. It must include an @ symbol, a domain, and an appropriate extension like .com or .co.za. If it does not, a toast message will appear when they try to sign up. The password field must follow the app rules. At least 8 characters, including 1 uppercase letter, 1 lowercase letter, 1 number, and 1 special character. If it fails to meet these rules, a red warning appears beneath the password input field after the Sign Up button has been clicked. Likewise, if the password and password confirmation fields do not match, the user will be notified via a toast message only after they click the Sign Up button. Once all the input fields are valid and the user then clicks Sign Up button, the account will then be created. The user is then redirected to the login screen where a toast confirms that the account has been successfully registered and now the user needs to log into their account. On every page of the app, including Home, Rewards, budget, expenses, add expenses, and add category, there is a top navigation bar that allows users quick access to settings and logout options. When the user taps the settings button, they're directed to the settings page. A back button is available at the top left of the screen, allowing users to return to the page they were previously on. Here, the users are presented with 3 options: dark mode, backup data, and delete account. RandPlan gives you full control over your visual experience with light and dark mode support. Once you toggle dark mode on or off, the entire app instantly updates every page. Your preference is saved securely in the cloud, so even if you log out or switch devices, your chosen theme stays exactly how you left it. Each user theme is stored individually, so when someone else logs into the same device, they'll see their own settings, whether it's light or dark mode. RandPlan makes it easy for you to back up your financial records. You can export your data to a CSV file, which gets safely stored on your device's Files app. You can name the file yourself or use the default option. To view your backup, just open your Files app and locate to where you saved the CSV file. You can click it and it will open. This provides a simple way to access your data or transfer it to other apps whenever you need. The final option is Delete Account. When the user clicks on this button, the account is permanently deleted from the database. A toast message appears confirming that the account has been deleted, and the user is then directed back to the welcome screen. If the user taps the Logout button from any page, a toast appears confirming that they have been logged out, and then they are directed back to the welcome screen. When a user logs in, they are taken to the home page. Just below the heading, Your Progress, is a progress dashboard, displayed in a set of simple card views. These cards show the user's daily spending, current month's spending, and current month's budget. These values dynamically update as the user sets budget goals and adds expenses. Beneath the dashboard is a card that visually informs the user how close they are to exceeding their budget, or whether they've already exceeded it. The card text changes color to reflect the current state: green if the user is within a safe range, yellow if they are approaching their limit, and red if the spending has exceeded their set budget. Just below the Your Progress section, you'll find the Daily Spending section, which is designed to help you visualize your spending habits more clearly. To generate a spending chart, a user needs to select a date range. Error handling is implemented for the date range to prevent a start date occurring after the end date. If the user tries to put an invalid date range, a toast message will appear notifying the user that it is invalid. Once a valid date range is selected, the app displays a bar chart that breaks down a user's spending per category. If no spending data exists for the selected time period, a clear message will let the user know that there was no spendings for this date range. In the chart, the categories are shown along the x-axis, spending amounts are on the y-axis, and each category is represented by a color bar with the exact amount spent displayed above. The minimum and maximum goals are shown as labeled reference lines, yellow for the minimum and red for the maximum. Below the chart is a card that shows the user their average daily spending for the selected time period. This provides a quick insight into your financial behavior over a certain time period. On the budget page, users can view their current month's budget goals displayed in a dedicated card. This shows both the minimum and maximum budget goals. By default, these values are set to 0. In the bottom right corner of the card, users will find an Edit Goals button. Tapping this takes them to the Edit Goals page. On the Edit Goals page, the user can update their monthly budget goals. The input fields are pre-filled with the current goal values for easy editing. If a user deletes a goal value entirely and tries to save it, a warning message will appear prompting them to enter a valid input. Only numbers are accepted as valid. Once valid values are entered and the Save button is pressed, a toast message appears stating budget goals are saved. The user is then redirected back to the budget page and the values in the goal card are updated accordingly. When a user opens the budget page and no categories have been added, a toast message will appear to let the user know that there are no categories for their account yet. The Add Category button takes the user to the Add Category page, where they must fill out the short form. This includes entering the category name, setting a spending limit, and selecting an icon to represent the category. If the name field is left blank, a warning message will appear. If the user does not set an icon, a default icon will be applied. At the top of the category page is the same top navigation bar with the settings and logout buttons, as well as on the top left, a back button to return the user back to the budget page. Once a category is successfully added, the user is taken back to the budget page, where the newly added category appears as a card in a scrollable list. Each category card displays the icon, the name, and the limit for that category. Every category card also has an Edit Category button on the right-hand side. Clicking this button takes the user to the Edit Category page, which has the same layout as the Add Category page. Here, the user can update the category's name, limit, or icon. The existing values are shown in the input fields for convenience. After editing, the user can tap the Save button, which updates the category and returns them to the budget page, where the updated category is reflected immediately. The reward screen is part of the gamification section. RandPlan has 6 rewards: Budget Master, Debt Crusher, Expense Tracker, Investing Guru, Money Milestone, and Saving Starter. This is used to help encourage a user to track their expenses and budget correctly. Budget Master is earned by a user setting their minimum and maximum goals on the budget page. Debt Crusher is earned by a user creating a debt category. Investing Guru is earned by a user creating an investing category. Saving Starter is earned by a user creating a savings category. Expense Tracker is earned by a user creating 10 or more expenses. Money Milestone is earned when a user has spent more than 10,000 Rand in expenses. On the expenses page, users are greeted with a dynamic card at the top that displays the total spending for the current month. This value automatically updates as expenses are added, and the month name will automatically change according to the month we are in. Below that, you'll find an expense section. On the left is a button to export the expenses, and on the right is the Add Expenses button. Just underneath that is the date range filter to help users view expenses within a specified time period. Tapping the Add Expense button takes the user to the Add Expense page. Here, the user must input the expense name, which cannot be left empty, and if it is, a warning will be displayed. A user needs to input the amount for the expense, which can only be numbers. They can add a description for the expense. This is an optional field, and the user needs to select a category from the drop-down list that is dynamically generated from the user's added categories. If the user hasn't created any categories, a toast message will alert them that they need to add categories before an expense can be created. The category field will be disabled with a message saying no categories have been set. The user must also select the date for the expense by tapping the calendar icon, which opens the dialog to choose a date. This field is required, and if left empty, a toast message will prompt the user to please select the date. The user also has an option to upload a supporting image from the device's gallery. Tapping the image icon inside the input field opens the image picker where a user can select the image from the gallery. Once all required fields are completed, tapping the Save button will add the expense to the expense list. A toast will confirm that the expense has been added and the user will be redirected to the expenses page. To view an expense, a user needs to set the date range filter. Both the start date and end date must be set, and if not, a toast will appear asking the user to set both dates. If the start date appears after the end date, a toast will appear saying there are no expenses within this range. If a valid range is selected but the user has not added any expenses to the list, they will then be notified that there are no expenses. If a date range was selected and the new expense falls within that range, the expense will appear in the list. Expenses are displayed in a scrollable list with each expense in a separate card view. Each card will show the expense name and a shortened description on the left-hand side. The amount of the expense and a clickable arrow icon will be displayed on the right-hand side of the card. Clicking this arrow icon takes the user to the expense details page. Here, they can view the expense name, the expense amount, the expense description if one was provided, the category, and the date. The name of the supporting image file if one was uploaded, and if no image was attached, it will say no image attached. There will also be a download button next to the supporting image file's name. Tapping this download button will save the image for that expense to the user's photos, and a confirming toast will appear. Error handling has been implemented, and a toast message will display indicating if the image cannot be found, opened, or saved. At the top left is a back button which returns the user back to the expenses page, retaining the date range they had selected before viewing an expense detail.